Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni with Nicole Buckman from Studio 10.
How's it going?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Yes. I feel like today's kind of flying by.
It is. A little bit, yeah. And it's the first day of spring, so happy spring.
Yes, happy spring, and you have the flowers.
Yeah, trying to get a little
Love
springy. But we also have black because we're kind of mourning that it's not spring-like weather. That was the thought process.
No, winter decided to come back when spring started,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
just doesn't make sense.
No.
You did it wrong.
No. But it's okay. We're still going to have a good show, good day, of course. And on Studio 10, it is not only the first day of spring, but it's also National Certified Nurses Day.
Oh.
Yes. They're very hardworking, and they deserve a thank you and a day every single day for all of the work that they do. And so we have this wonderful nurse. She's actually Sparrow's 2024 Nurse Champion.
Oh.
Yes. So they do pick out nurses once a year that go above and beyond, and obviously everyone kind of goes above and beyond there. But she not only was a great leader at Sparrow, but she also is a great leader outside of work, and she recently donated one of her organs to a family, and she's still able to work. It's a beautiful story. Anyway, we're going to highlight her, hear from her, and obviously hear the inspiration behind, of course, this, and see what we can learn from her and celebrate her too, and all the other nurses out there.
Yes.
And
they really do. It's an emotional and a physical toll.
Yes.
I mean, when you're taking care of a loved one, or even when you're sick yourself, I mean, obviously they're doing a lot more than taking care of someone who has a cold or flu. It gets a lot more severe than that.
Oh, yeah, and seeing what they do every single day. And then we also are, kind of, it's crazy to think about, but we are kind of heading towards the end of March.
2024, what are you doing? You need to slow down.
Sorry. But that doesn't mean we're not stopped celebrating Women's History Month. And so we've kind of been trying to highlight different businesses in the area, women-owned businesses, and this one is absolutely fantastic. Her business and restaurant you might be familiar with, it's called Batter Up Bistro. It's downtown, right across from the capital city, Meyer.
Don't look at me. I'm directionally challenged.
Okay. So I'm vertically challenged. So
yay for us.
Yay. But anywho, they're a fabulous story there, talking a lot about the inspiration from her grandparents who taught her how to cook, but then also her inspiration to really find whole foods, because one of her sons is autistic, and when he was born very nonverbal. And what she found that when she started cooking with like more whole foods and kind of creating this menu, he was able to help and have this kind of comeback story. And how it's just beautiful, and we would have never known that. Like, I've gone there before from the restaurant, but just talking to someone and hearing this is someone in our community, it just is so much fun. So and then of course we're talking about the food, what you can find there too, but it's just fabulous. So definitely tune in for Studio 10 for that, and then we also are just kind of getting into that spring fun, and we're playing the game it's called What's Behind Me, and that's when we'll be going through a lot of the spring-like activities that we love this time of year, and we'll be seeing if we can guess what's behind us.
All right, that sounds fun.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Ideas of what you can do when it gets warm outside.
Absolutely.
I still can't get over that one story though with Batter Up Bistro. And that's the importance of connecting and asking people and
just asking what their story is, because you just asked what was the inspiration behind your menu, and then it just tells her story, and it was so nice because she's like, I don't get this time to talk with other women in the community, because she's not only a owner and chef of Batter Up Bistro, but she's a mom. And then she's a business owner, and she doesn't have time for herself. So it was kind of like a little girls, sit down and talk. Yeah. So it's just nice, and that's why we do what we do with the community. So definitely tune in to Studio 10 to hear her story.
Yes, and hopefully she is taking time for herself, and everyone else out there is too, because there's
also
a lot going on. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. All right, 3 o'clock.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see you then, Nicole. Thank you. And of course, this is where you can always stay up to date with Studio 10 if you want to go back and rewatch anything with Batter Up Bistro. Or also talking about Women's History Month. I know Batter Bistro is going to be a little tie-in to that. Well, make sure to go check it out on WILX Studio 10 for any of their social media handles. And of course, you can shoot them an email if you're a business and you actually want to advertise with Studio 10. Studio 10 at WILX.com is a great place to go for that. So again, all you have to do is tune in there. I like to go on their YouTube page, which is always a fun little place. You can always get more ideas, and especially when Justin starts talking about the weather, you can go through their different video playlists and see if there's any ideas you can get for indoors and outdoors.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, well, welcome back, because you were here, you and I were both here not too long ago.
Yeah, at noon, talking about more Severe Weather Awareness Week. And so we wanted to let folks know about hail. We'll have a little more coming up in the shows, and I might do a little preview at the end of this kind of weather segment, just talking more about it. A reminder, statewide tornado drill is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Some counties are participating, some areas are, some are not. If you hear sirens tomorrow and there's no severe weather in the forecast, this is just an opportunity for you to kind of come up with a plan and maybe participate in that drill.
Yes, exactly. So giving you that little warning to tune in then. Otherwise, we are talking about the first alert forecast, what you can expect for this week. The official start of spring, which is what time tonight?
11:06 is officially, that's when the vernal equinox takes place. So what that just means is that's the point where we officially begin the spring season. So today is the first day of spring because it falls today, but we're still in winter for a couple more hours now, at least coming up till 11 o'clock tonight.
Exactly. And then the first full day of spring would be tomorrow.
Right, exactly. Yep.
We'll take a look outside because like Nicole was saying, like you were saying, like I've been saying, like many of you I'm sure are feeling, it is cold and not spring-like at all.
No, we've been spoiled thus far in the winter time, but winter ultimately can continue a lot longer than the end of the season officially dictates, and that's going to be proved by the end of this week, which we'll talk about in a few moments here. So the WILX Tower Skycam, the flag is fluttering on in that breeze. Now it is a southwest wind today. It's helped warm us up. We're having an issue at the airport with the sensor in the past hour. It's gone down, so don't see the temperature shown here, but again, around, and that'll be Lansing only, doesn't show a temperature, but it's around 39, 40 degrees outside right now. Everywhere else is showing that, including St. John's and Charlotte. Mason's 41, Marshall 44, and so a lot of places have been able to sneak into those low 40s at this point in the afternoon. I think the sun will try to peak out in about 2 to 3 hours here once we get to 4 or 5 o'clock, and that'll kind of help get us into those mid 40s. And this is the warmest day of the week, by the way. We've also got that wind in play. It is southwesterly, has been all day, but it is starting to turn. You notice a little bit towards Charlotte, becoming a little bit west southwesterly. Eventually that wind later on today will be kind of west northwesterly by the evening, and again that'll help bring some cooler air into mid-Michigan. But the winds are running anywhere from about 15 to 25, even 26 miles an hour, and that's before the gusts factored in. Jackson, the top of the last hour here, gusting to 45. We don't have an official reading coming back from Lansing's airport, but most places seeing gusts near or above 30. And so it is a little bit of a breezy afternoon. I know not too long ago we had a brief power outage in the area, and I think a couple folks may yet deal with that. Not going to be real widespread, but any places that are more susceptible to that. What that wind is also doing is it's cutting back how it feels outside. 29 in Charlotte, 32 in Jackson. So everybody feeling like they're at or below the freezing mark more or less this afternoon. So it is a chilly day, and the temperatures once again, while they do climb into those mid 40s this evening, I think between 5 and 6 we probably touch 45 briefly. We'll take about 8 to 10 degrees off that air temperature as far as how it feels outside. So the wind chill is going to stay in the mid 30s today. And again, we're going to be much colder as we head into tomorrow once this wind shifts to be out of the northwest, which it will later this evening and tonight. Here are those numbers getting into the 40s this evening and those few breaks of sunshine we get before it goes down. So I think we probably have a good chance looking west to see the sun before it kisses the horizon this evening. Now we head into the overnight with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Possible tomorrow morning very early to see a flake or two across the area. I think most of us probably don't, but if you do, it's not going to accumulate or really even stick to anything. You might just see, again, a few of those flakes. Not going to impact our morning drive, not going to impact our forecast at all. It'll be more the wind tomorrow. You'll notice the clouds here come streaming out of the northwest. That's where our wind is going to come from. And man, is it really tough to even get into the low 30s tomorrow, and it'll never feel like it, feeling like the teens most of the day, maybe low 20s if we're lucky tomorrow afternoon. So that first full official day of spring after the season officially changes tonight is going to be a chilly one, and so we'll want to keep that in mind heading into our Wednesday. You will notice that the lows go further than that. Heading Wednesday night to Thursday morning, we're going to be in the teens, might be single-digit wind chills to start the day Thursday, and so we are going to have that chill here around mid-Michigan, but it is going to quiet down heading into Thursday afternoon, though. You see here clouds start to filter back in. Here's a wider view of what we can expect heading into the end of the week, because while Thursday is a quiet day, Friday, not so much. We have a system that moves in from the west, and right now the track of that system would come through Michigan to where we would be in a band of snowfall, and it would be snow that would stick this time around. On the likelihood, the magnitude to be maybe around that 1 to 3 inch range. It's something we're going to keep a close eye on as we go throughout the week, but we'll have a more detailed look at snow totals as the week goes on. But I would plan for Friday on a slow morning drive due to the snow that's falling. It'll be kind of a sticky and slushy wet snow. And we're also talking, again, accumulation with this system, and so plan on seeing accumulating snow on Friday in some shape or form. Now, you notice near Chicago during that time frame on Friday, there is a little bit of mixing taking place, even some rain just south of Lake Michigan. If this tracks a little further north, we could maybe get into more of the rain-snow mix category, which would actually knock down our snow totals a little bit. Of course, the opposite could be true too. If the system does leak a little bit to the south, a little wiggle this way, then we could end up seeing even heavier snow. And I think right now it looks like you got to get to Mount Pleasant and north in the state to see where they get to maybe that 3 to 5 inch range. Most of us here are going to look at about an inch or two, maybe up to 3. But again, we're going to keep an eye on this throughout the week and give you some updates as they come along. Now, the 10-day forecast here, again, plan on that accumulating snow Friday. But after that, we get into a weekend where highs are near 40 degrees, partly cloudy skies, even a little bit of sunshine here and there. And so even if we are able to stack some snow Friday, this is going to be that wet variety, and so we will have the snow condensing. We will have a little bit melting from underneath into the ground. The sun will help burn some off and evaporate, and so we're really looking at probably, if any snow does stick, and it likely will, any snow that does stick Friday probably melts off completely before the weekend is done. And then heading out into Monday, while you do see a few flakes in that forecast, that's going to transition from a mix into rain as we go throughout our Monday. And so temperatures by then going to be continuing to come up into the upper 40s. We're back into the 50s Tuesday, but again, that's also going to come with some rain showers, and the temps in the 40s next week are not far from normal. In fact, they're near or slightly above it. We just got to get through a couple days here of cooler temps. Even the 45 today, not really feeling like it outside, and we're certainly feeling those winds, and that'll be the case tomorrow as well. And so definitely breezy kind of forecast that we've got out here.
Yeah, well, Crystal just let me know, Erin, out on her story, she's going to let us know what she has coming up pretty soon, and I'll have to give you a warning now and right before we send it to Erin. It is very windy, and so just prepare to hear lots of wind. Feel the wind, hear the wind, all of the wind.
I have a feeling it'll be similar when I'm out on the weather patio, so I'll do what I can to shield that when I'm out there at 3 o'clock, but I'm planning on a breeze, that's for sure. You know, obviously today, with a windy type day, you want to have those extra layers, everything. I won't tell everybody how to dress, but it's a recommendation just because, you know, it is breezy today, and tomorrow will be even colder. With that wind factored in, it'll feel even colder than today does. So if you're already not a big fan of how it feels outside today, tomorrow's not your day either. Maybe wait till Thursday. Even that 37, though, is going to feel okay just because it's not going to have the wind that we had yesterday, today, and will have tomorrow. And so that 37, even though it's not the 45 of today, I think that's the pick day of the week right there. It's going to be partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Not too terrible. No, Thursday out there is not going to be too bad. And so that's what we're looking at. Friday, the accumulating snow. The weekend, I think, probably better than Thursday even. But I'm saying throughout the work week here, I think Thursday's probably our best day. Once again, those upper 40s, low 50s next week will be nice to have back, though they are going to come with some showers. But as we've been mentioning, Severe Weather Awareness Week, ongoing. We've been streaming every day at 12. So if you join us at noon on any of our platforms, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or you're on our Roku streaming app there with News 10 Plus, certainly able to get that information here. We were talking about hail earlier today and all the dangers, ways you can be safe from it. We looked at a size chart, how hail's formed. I wanted to bring this back just because I just love the image. This is from NCAR.
Impressive.
Yeah, the National Center for Atmospheric Research. This is the Vivian, South Dakota hailstone that is regarded as the world's largest hailstone. This one was an 8-inch stone that came down. I mean, you imagine it literally almost like it's raining bowling balls outside outside if this is coming down. And so this is just an absolutely crazy hailstone. The largest we've ever seen in the state of Michigan was only about half the diameter and less than a quarter of the weight of this, just to kind of give you a magnitude. And we've had some large hail in Michigan, up to grapefruit size. It's happened 4 times, but the Vivian, South Dakota hailstone definitely is the largest, at least certainly as far as the overall diameter. Now, I know Darren Rockwell this morning showed the Coffeyville, Kansas stone, which I don't have a photo of here, but that one was a little smaller in diameter, but it was also larger just as far as the weight. And so either way, these are enormous hailstones, and so that's kind of what we've been dealing with. But once again, Severe Weather Awareness Week right here. We're going to be continuing with coverage at noon every single day, tomorrow through Friday. We did flooding yesterday, hail today. Tomorrow is going to be tornadoes, and so that's kind of what we're going to have to look forward to moving forward here. And so once again, we will have a lot more coverage coming up on this. We're going to have looks on Thursday at thunderstorms, meteorologist Colton Sikoraki at noon, and then we'll have Colton talking about weather Q&A and a lot of fun fact or fiction with weather. We've talked about a lot of the topics over time, but you'll want to tune in Friday for that one as well. And we'll accept any of the questions too that you have coming in throughout. And so we appreciate you coming in. We had some really good questions on Monday in particular, yesterday,
about flooding.
with the flooding and everything, all those concerns. So that was great. We love to have you interact with us and ask us any questions. I'm happy to answer them. We'll have a nice discussion tomorrow about tornadoes. Those tend to be, we talk about it, sort of the poster child of Severe Weather Awareness Week, as we've got it in the background on our graphic kind of spinning around here. And so once again, it's certainly far from the most common, but it is the most destructive when it happens, and so that tends to be why it takes the cake for that. And if you have cake out, it's not going to be there long when a tornado comes by. So that's what we've got for you anyways. I think, did you pull up the Coffeyville?
I did. Do we want to show this?
We might as well. Yeah, we
Okay.
can show. We got a few images. So that's an image search. I think this one from Coffeyville looks like it could be, that could be a 3D printer job, but it is accurate to the size and the shape.
What does this one say?
That one's from Hastings, Nebraska. A couple different ones on there, but you kind of get the...
Yeah, there's your Vivian one.
Yeah, and Vivian, South Dakota. Yeah, you kind of get the idea just looking at these. I mean, just how large they are. And we always tout, once again, I think, yeah, I actually like this one from... is that KEVN down there to put in perspective. They have the hailstone next to, yeah, they have the hailstone next to a volleyball.
Oh, let me show that.
And that's a good one. So that's kind of a perspective shot on the right. If you imagine just a hailstone the size of a volleyball just raining down, that's what you would have with an 8-incher, and that's how big the one in Vivian was. Yeah.
A volleyball, obviously, you can easily hit that, get hit by it. You do not want to get hit by this.
Yeah, volleyball would be much lighter than this hailstone by comparison, but that's the size. You imagine just raining volleyballs down on you, because we mentioned it earlier, you're talking not just one big massive hailstone and then everything else is nothing. You're talking about hailstones probably aren't quite that big as the volleyball, but pretty close in size in a lot of cases, at least nearby. And imagine just hundreds of thousands or even millions of those just coming down is pretty intense. And so obviously you want to be prepared for hail. You want to be prepared for tornadoes too, and that's our discussion topic we'll share with you tomorrow. But we've got a lot more in the forecast coming up during First at 4 and even at Studio 10, where I'll be outside combating that wind. At least it'll be warmer today than it will tomorrow. I might want to have the extra layer. I might try to tough it out with this coat today. Tomorrow I might want to have an extra layer underneath. Certainly going to be cool out there. Mother Nature not being too kind to us here for the first day of spring, but you know what? It could be worse, and so we'll take what we can get here.
This is what happens when we get 70 degrees in February multiple times.
Yeah,
Mother Nature has to make it up.
We get spoiled. It always comes back, and that's the thing to keep in mind. We never, I don't think ever in this state, have gone from like a really warm winter right into a really warm spring, right into a really warm summer. If we get one, we usually are going to pay for it at some point. And paying for it isn't too terrible with what we're seeing right now, but it's definitely not as enjoyable as some of the past few weeks have been. And so, you know, once again, just one of those you just kind of get through. And I love all the seasons and all the change that we have. Once we get to this point in the year, I'm kind of over snow, even though we haven't had a bad snow season. I'm happy to see the mild weather come back. But again, I'm just the messenger. It's in my forecast. We got the accumulating snow Friday. Be ready for that. I'm going to impact the morning drive. We'll continue to keep an eye on that and update you as the forecast comes along.
And with those updates, with the road conditions, having the First Alert Weather app is going to be crucial.
Yeah, it's big time for sure. I mean, you're talking about planning your day and what you need to wear when you're heading out to work. Obviously, you decide all of those things based on the information that you have at hand. And the best place to have it at hand is this app, and it's the First Alert Weather app. Once again, we put a lot of time, effort into this. Just to make sure that it's the best weather app that you have. It's localized to where you are. We manually update the numbers that you'll see on here. And so if you go on and you happen to catch a forecast, that's usually data that the meteorologist who's on air has specifically gone ahead and put in there. And so if you're seeing a forecast and you live in Lansing for the day, what you're seeing when you pull up the forecast is today what I put in there. Or if it's Colton, it'll be what he did, or Darren, or Andy, or whoever. And so you know that you're getting the info from us, and it's not just a computer that's going to try to self-update it or do something different and change its mind every 20 minutes and whatever else. We've got a forecast that we feel confident in and that we stick our name to, and we put it out every single day. And you can get all that information right there in the palm of your hand. Best part is it's absolutely free, so it's good to have.
Oh, yes. We love free. Okay. Well, thank
Sure.
you, Justin. We will see you on Studio 10 coming up
Yes.
at 3 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Which is in just under 40 minutes here. So make sure to tune in and see Justin.
Yeah, we'll see you
Other
there.
than that, yes, we will see you then. Sounds good.
Yes, very
There
good.
we go. Yeah, careful with the wind out there.
I know. Yeah, we'll be good. We'll be all right. Better than the snow. I'll
Yes,
say.
better
Yeah.
than the snow.
Yep.
Well, here we go. Starting with First at 4 in Mid-Michigan Matters today. We're bringing in Ingham County Sheriff Scott Rigglesworth to talk about meth and opioids in Michigan. So talking about the trends, the statistics, what we've been seeing more recently. There have been a few articles that we reached out about talking about meth making a comeback in Michigan. And so we're going to talk to Sheriff Rigglesworth to see what that means, what that looks like, and also talking about the resources like Narcan machines that are available across Michigan. So tune in for Mid-Michigan Matters on First at 4 today. Coming up, News 10 at 5 has our own Seth Wells and Joey Ellis are on their way to Charlotte, North Carolina as we speak. We're going to be talking March Madness and the distractions it can cause in the workplace. Of course, you know that we are here as a news station, and we can get quite distracted looking at those scores. I'm sure you at home can feel the same. So we'll have more on that coming up, News 10 at 5 today. And like Justin Bradford was just saying, spring starts late tonight at 11:06 p.m. And you may have spring cleaning on your mind. I know I do. But what about spring cleaning your electronics? That is one on my list. We will have more on that coming up on News 10 at 5:30. And I can tell you, there's going to be some good tips and advice to check that out, because spring cleaning, especially your electronics, so many things pile up on there. And it takes time to go through and look at it all and clean it off your phone, make your life easier, clean out the stuff that you no longer need. We're going to have that coming up News 10 at 5:30, okay? We're going to ease your mind into that. Coming up News 10 at 6, Governor Whitmer has signed a new law banning the sale of items that could be used for recreational use of nitrous oxide, commonly known as whippets. So coming up on News 10 at 6, News 10's Riley Connell tells us how addiction experts say the ban could have an impact. Again, Riley's talking to addiction experts on the ban and how it could have an impact. That's coming up News 10 at 6 today. Again, talking about nitrous oxide, commonly known as whippets. Those stories coming up today on First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. I do want to show a quick look outside over US 127 because you did hear Justin Bradford talking about Severe Weather Awareness Week here on News 10. And just in general, but of course our meteorologists here on News 10 are going to be talking about what you can look forward to when it comes to everything severe weather related. So yesterday we talked about flooding. Today Justin talked about hail. And then I'm going to go here real quick so you can see what else is coming up the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we will have Justin talk about tornadoes, and Colton will be talking about thunderstorms and lightning Thursday, and a weather fact or fiction, and also a Q&A on Friday. So make sure to tune in if you have any questions on that. Just great information. Again, we talked a lot about the severe storms and tornadoes that happened last August. And so just making sure that we're informing you on everything severe weather related before it happens, so that when it does happen, you're all planned and ready to go. You know the emergency action plans, that EAP that you can do, and make sure that you and your family and your loved ones, everyone is safe, so we can save those lives. So I do want to share what else real quick, talking about the colder temperatures, the gloomier skies that we're seeing for the first official day of spring. I know a lot of people have talked about seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression. And so with that, no matter how you're feeling, know that you're not alone. There are resources out there for you. And so you're going to see right now that a QR code pops up on your screen. And go ahead and scan that QR code with your cell phone's camera, and I'll guide you through it. Once you scan it, you'll click on a link that pops up, and that'll bring you to our website, wilx.com. Excuse me, I almost just choked. And from there, it'll pull up a list of resources around mid-Michigan, for example, in Clinton, Ingham, Eaton, Ionia, Shiawassee, Jackson, Lenawee County. So all of those different counties, we have several different resources giving you some pointers, some guidance on where you can look for more of those mental health professionals and those resources for treatment. Other than that, we're going to have community members and mental health care professionals all year long here on News 10 talking about the signs and symptoms to be aware on, having that awareness, breaking free from that denial and shame, and having that guidance and that treatment and prevention. So again, all year long here on News 10, and monthly you can expect different stories on our You're Not Alone mental health series. So that is what some other things that we have going on here on News 10. I do want to share what Aaron Bowling and Mars Anderson have coming up during our 90 minutes of news. A warning again, Justin Bradford said it's not only chilly outside, it's also windy. And so prepare yourself for some of that windy noise as we talk to Erin. She's outside. So, Erin, what do you have coming up News 10 at 5:30?
Thanks, Taylor. Today I'm in Grand Ledge on the corner of East Saginaw and Nixon because McLaren is going to be building a freestanding ER as well as some clinical rooms right here in this 12-acre lot. I'll have more on this new development in Grand Ledge on News 10 at 5:30. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, thank you, Erin. Talking about a new little McLaren site with the ER being built in Grand Ledge. So tune in. Again, you heard that wind in the background. So if you are outside, if you're on the roads, just make sure you got both hands on the wheel. You're staying safe. Obviously, you know how to drive. Just be careful with that wind out there. Mars coming up News 10 at 6. We're going to check in with him. Mars.
Hi, Taylor. Mars Anderson here in the newsroom working on a story talking about CBD. So a little bit of background on that is that CBD has been FDA approved to treat epilepsy, but there is still ongoing research to determine its use in the medical field, which is why members of the Michigan Society of Anesthesiologists are joining forces to determine its use before and after knee surgery. So I'm going to talk all about that at News 10 at 6.
All right, thank you, Mars. Talking about CBD being used as medication for knee therapies and different things of the sort. There's still research coming out, so he's going to have more coming up News 10 at 6 today. Let me see if there's anything else that we can quickly show before we head on out here. One more time, let me show the First Alert forecast or the First Alert weather app, because again, even though it is the first official day of spring, which starts tonight at 11:06 p.m., so the first full day of spring will actually be tomorrow on Wednesday, but it's not feeling like spring. So of course, go check out the First Alert weather app. That way you know how to dress for these winter-like temperatures and weather, even though we are in the spring season, so, or will be tonight. So make sure to download that, have that on your phone. And of course, Justin Bradford was talking about that snowstorm making its way in Friday morning, affecting your commute throughout the day and even as you go home later that Friday. So download the First Alert weather app, get those traffic alert updates, and you can do the Follow Me feature for more of those notifications that pertain more accurately to you. So make sure to go download the First Alert weather app for free off of Google Play and the Apple App Store. But Studio 10 gets started here in just under half an hour. I'm going to get ready for First at 4, and then we also have our 90 minutes of news. So make sure to tune in to News 10 and have a great Tuesday.